Hello everybody, welcome to another YouTube video. Today we have some drip marketing for Zenless Zone Zero. Yup, they dropped this out of nowhere. I was not ready, nobody was ready. And so it is finally time. It is finally time. So let's take a look at this real quick, okay? Actually, we'll watch the video first. And this is the first character they drip marketed. They drip marketed two characters. So this video is going to be about these two characters. And one of them was expected, the other one completely out of left field. No one saw this coming, no one could have predicted this. Even the leakers were confused. So, let's take a look at this real quick. Alright, so let's take a look at this video real quick. I don't start there, start at the beginning, 7:20. Okay, let's look at this drip marketing real quick. Yup, that's right. Ganyu is back. Ganyu is back. Lucia from the Spook Shack. Alright, S-rank, Ether, support character. I was not expecting this. And even more so, I'm a little surprised. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But this was not voice acted. If you play it one more time. There is no voice acting for this one, so maybe the character is silent, or maybe the pipeline, or how these are made. There's some troubles behind the scenes. As we all know, the Zenless Zone Zero devs work very hard. I'm of the belief that they are working ahead. But there are multiple teams within the Zenless Zone Zero development team. Like, it was recently confirmed that Alice and Yuzuha were made by a team dedicated to just those two, and that team has now moved on to making two new characters that they've talked about, and those characters don't match these characters. So, yes. This is Lucia, member of the Spook Shack. So, she's gonna be with Yuzuha and Alice, which I'm kind of surprised by. Alright, we're gonna mute this real quick while we let that play. Her design, honestly, it's very attractive. I'm kind of surprised. We're gonna immediately talk about the fan service nature of these characters. And this time, it's that she's not super hyper ultra fan servicey. At least not at a glance. I mean, of course, she has a lot of exposed leg. But as far as we can tell, I mean, and there's also like the lower boob window, but like she's not a character that is crazy well endowed. I don't think she's gonna have super duper insane physics. Maybe she has some behind physics, who knows. But I am really liking her design, a green outfit, and then also we have a cloak and then a bodysuit. And of course she has horns, which means I'm cooked. But I think she looks... Honestly, it's not like super duper insane. It's not like everyone saw this character and lost their minds. But everyone is very surprised that we're getting a character that looks very high fantasy compared to our very technologically savvy or like very streetwear, street kid style characters that we've seen up until now. This character looks almost like she stepped directly out of Genshin Impact, of course ignoring the similarities in the head to Ganyu from Genshin. Just like the outfit itself, it's very it's very high fantasy, and then she's carrying a staff as well. And this staff, you can see it is a fountain pen, at least at the very bottom, and she's carrying a book. So, that indicates to me that she does a lot of writing. But yes, not honestly, very impressed with how this character looks. Let's take a look at what her agent record has to say. Alright, here we go. So we have the agent record for Lucia. Want to hear a story about ethereals? If you listen, we'll be friends. Listen to one more and we'll be best friends. Alright, and that was said by her. So my tribe lives on the edge of the hollow, far from civilization. Alright, so she is part of a tribe. For us, the ever-changing city feels more distant than the wild cosmos. Though just because we don't have all our fancy middle boxes from the city doesn't mean we're riding on turtle shells. What did you say? Parts? Meant? What kind of horrifying creation is that? And there we have it. So she's not technologically savvy at all. Let's take a look at this art real quick. I'll actually open up the Hoyo link. So as you can see here, we have a higher resolution look at her. Her outfit is very, very decorated, very ornamental. Even the inside of her hood is filled with like scribes. And then the book literally just says Dullahan right there, which she's not a Dullahan unless her head comes off. So I'm a little curious what that has to do with anything. No, it's definitely an interesting character. I do think that, like, her face design is a little plain, but that's honestly a lot of our Zenless Zone Zero characters. We have these pretty, like, inconspicuous characters, but the animations bring them to life. They all look fantastic. Alright, so let's take a look at this agent record. More importantly, it's this. So, member of the Spook Shack, and these are what the other characters in the game have to say. So there's a character named Yetari, which we have not seen this character. Seeing them reply first means they're probably a future playable character. So, I guess that's another character to look forward to. Right here it says, before meeting her in person, I'd always wonder if I was chatting with some fairy in a hollow. So, that's their impression of Lucia, which, of course, she seems a little outdated, having lived away from the city, thinking it's ever-changing. I am wondering if this character is comparable to Freeren in how they're going to be written, as in they're a much older character that's not very savvy with the new ways of the world. But at the same time, like, her stuff looks pretty cool. Like, that book is pretty detailed. Alright, let's see what this says. Ukinami Yuzaha says, whether it's a story or a prank, you need the author's conviction to make it captivating. And her determined writing style can make even ghost stories and sleep talking feel as real and powerful as a news report. So I'm guessing this kinda does confirm that Lucia here is indeed a writer of some kind, hence the book and the staff that is also a fountain pen. I'm very curious to see how she plays. Is she going to use ink? But as we all know, Yishuan already uses ink as her weapon. So we need to see how our dear Lucia plays. And then here we have the kid in the park whose every move gets blocked by the Dullahan chop. No fear, that's not even a Starlight Night move! So, okay, so she's bullying kids in the park who are playing Starlight Nights. And she's going in there with the Dullahan chop and stopping them in their tracks. And here we have Jaren on patrol duty at 6th Street in the dead of night. That is an NPC we see in 6th Street all the time. He's always a bit of a scaredy cat at nighttime, but during the day he's a hero. Hold up, let me get this straight. First you say you're neither a ghost nor a criminal. Second, you're telling me that squatting on the AC unit outside the video store is some kind of necessary security measure? So clearly, Lucia over here is attached to the Phaethon siblings, having gone so far as to stand guard outside her store, but I don't know what kind of... I'm guessing she is a goat Thyran of some kind. Just judging from the ears and then the horns. And if she's standing on the AC unit, well, we know our AC unit is installed on a window, or it's installed outside high up. So maybe that's her goat instincts leading her to standing on top of a very high ledge. So that's the character Lucia so far. Now she is an ether support. We already have multiple ether supports, being Nicole, and we also have Aster Yao already. But as we've seen with Yuzaha, alright, so Aster Yao is a crit-based support that kind of helps support the style of dual DPSs, or at least she supports quick swap units. She really pushes that playstyle. Alright, we got Yuzaha recently, another S-rank support that is aimed towards Anomaly. And so Lucia over here, she's another S-rank support unit, as you can tell from her animations on her gym marketing. Alright, it's animated, so she is an S-rank. And so I think she's probably gonna be aimed as a rupture support. So Yishuan havers, you might want to start saving up for this character. And the reason I think she's going to be a rupture support is because of our next character over here. Let's hop on over to the vertical screen so we can take a closer look. Alright, let's take a look at this one.
Let me make this clear. If they mess with you, they mess with me. Don't worry. No one will lay a finger on you while I'm around.
And there we have it.
Let me make this clear.
Komano Manato is finally playable, and unfortunately he is very clearly an A rank, having drip marketing that is not animated. I am actually so upset, but you know what? That's okay. Alright, I know a lot of people are going to be very upset that Komano here is not an S rank, but the thing we have to understand about Zenless Zone Zero is the A ranks in this game cook. Okay, they are so good. Piper is one of the strongest on-field DPSs in the game. Okay, maybe that's a bit hyperbole. She's definitely the strongest A rank in the game, and she out damages even some of the S ranks. She is harder to play, of course, as a result. Alright, they haven't missed with a single A rank character yet, with the one exception being maybe Seth Lowell, who we know is he's an anomaly support, a defense agent that kind of provides shields and gives anomaly proficiency buffs. He has fallen off a little bit, especially thanks to Yuza, but he still has his uses on the team. If anything, you can use him with Yuzaha together, and you'd probably get a pretty strong unit. A pretty strong anomaly hyper carry. He definitely has lots of uses, especially with Alice. But we're not here to talk about Seth, okay? We're here to talk about Komano. And if you take a look right here it is. He is a fire agent. And there it is, he is Rupture. Which is why I believe that Lucia is going to be buffing Rupture agents. Especially because they are going to be sharing a banner. And how do I know that? Because these two were drip marketed at the same time. So we did see a little bit of Komano's animations via the in-game story. He assisted us during the story, joining Alice and Yuzaha and the proxy along with their journey. And he was kind of a support unit that was fighting enemies in the background. Now, of course, when they are helping out like that, they're not really doing that much damage. But he was helping out in the same vein that Vivian was helping out previously. Tarumasa, Yanagi. We've had a couple support characters that kind of joined us in combat during the story throughout the game, and I guess Komano is technically our first A rank that was a supporter. Minus Sokaku, who did make a minor appearance in Hollow Zero, but I guess Komano really was an A rank as indicated by the gigantic A that is on his chest. Just right over here. They told us all along. I wanted to believe he was an S rank, but I guess it was too good to be true. Still excited for him. Will I be pulling him? I'll probably throw a couple pulls his way. As we all know that the F being an A rank means that you do have nerfed stats compared to the S rank agents, and also you're typically expected to get a couple mindscapes for our A ranks if you want them to be like super duper meta viable, and that means specifically for the end game. Alright, and that has nothing to do with like the main story and stuff. They will clear all that content just fine. They'll clear the side quests just fine. It's truly just that Shiyu defense and deadly assault where I feel like you're probably gonna have to super stack these characters. Although anyone that wanted Komano, I guess you can rejoice. You're gonna be able to see him naked in his Mindscape art when you M6 him because he's an A rank. So, you can celebrate that at least. I think that's a little cope. But I'm also gonna enjoy having him be naked on the Mindscape screen when I inevitably M6 him sometime in the future. Maybe not on release, but we'll probably try for it one day. Now, I will definitely be pulling for him, okay? I want this character, especially now that he's an A rank. Alright, I can definitely secure at least one copy of him, and we can have some fun with his moveset. Who knows, maybe he's actually strong enough that we can use in the curve endgame. Alright, subscribe to find out, because when he releases, we are definitely nabbing a copy of him. Now, if we land a copy of Lucia as well, that would be great, because my goodness, I definitely want her. Now, let's hop on over to the super duper full screen over here, because we do have his agent record. Alright, it says right here, agent record, Komano Manato. If any trouble comes up, just get behind me. Alright, even though the Spook Shack sounds scary and its members keep talking about all sorts of bizarre stuff, but honestly, everyone's such a warm and caring friend. Oh, and the part-time jobs they recommend are totally worth it. As we know, he is our dear part-timer. Alright, he is a poor college student who needs to work part-time jobs to make ends meet. And honestly, he probably needs to pay for a lot of food because he is gigantic. Alright, let's take a look at what the other characters have to say about him. Alright, here we go. Spook Shack member Komano Manato. Ukinama Yuzaha, who had only covered 3 of the 7 precautions, says, "Hey, what were you thinking rushing in like that? The first step in investigating rule-based urban legends is to actually finish listening to the rules, isn't it?" Alice has some other things to say. "What an amazing flavor! Thank you, Mr. Komano, for enlightening me that even instant noodles can be turned into such a delicious delicacy. I do not sleep on instant noodles, guys. You start adding spices, you can make those things shine." Alright, Panyan Hu, after finding out he didn't get the best bargains at the market stalls. Did he use an employee discount? Or points redemption? Don't tell me this kid used some mysterious technique on the vendors. As we all know, Panyan Hu is always trying to find some good deals, especially because the Temple of Jinkwei Summit does struggle because they kind of work only off of donations, and they are a temple that has fallen a bit lower. So that's how it is, but looks like our dear Manato is somehow securing even better deals. Alright, the dream refracted in the mist. I have no idea what this is, no clue whatsoever. You still don't understand the difference between us, do you? I can wield my sword purely for Komano Manato, while you can't. I had no idea what that means. It's dramatic, it's cool. I hope that they expand on this in the future. Anyway, if you're planning on pulling Manato and you want them to be usable, make sure you have a build Panyan Hu or pull Lucia, who I'm sure she's... I mean, they're on the same banner, so if you're gonna pull for M6 of good old Komano Manato here, then odds are... Okay, good thing I didn't scroll down. That was very scary. If you're pulling for Komano Manato, then better secure yourself some good supports, either Panyan Hu, or you can probably get by getting Lucia, especially if you're pulling for M6, because, well, that's a lot of pulls you have to dedicate, and because he is an A rank, you know, there's no guarantee that he's gonna show up. You could get the other A rank on the banner, so most definitely save a lot of pulls for him. Just because he is an A rank does not mean he is going to be easy to secure. Alright, if anything, that's probably the reason why people wanted him to be an S rank, because at least you can guarantee an S rank. And if you don't know how hard it is to pull an A rank, well, by all means, I put in over 150 pulls until that Silver Soldier on me banner, trying to get a Pulchra, and after all those pulls, I only had Mindscape 2. It was rough, but we eventually did M6er eventually, because A ranks in this game are pretty easy to come by, and also thanks to the new systems in the Signal Shop, you can guarantee any A rank once you have secured the character themselves. Just gotta save up your signals. Anyway, that's the characters. Alright, we have Lucia over here. And we have Manato, and my goodness, do they look good. If anything though, I will say I do think Manato looks quite a bit cooler than Lucia, but I'm such a big fan of the horns. Now, will I be pulling her? The problem is she releases right after Orphe, who we all know I'm going to be attempting to M6 on stream. Alright, be sure to subscribe for that. And you can follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Robelle Autonomy. Alright, you can follow me there if you want to see the streams live. And with that one, alright, I'd say we are pretty covered in terms of the drip marketing. Anyway, what do you guys think of the characters? Alright, are you gonna be pulling for Lucia? Are you more excited for Manato? Are you despairing that Manato is an A rank? If not, then, well, actually no, if so, then fret not, because I'm sure that Zenless on Zero team will cook. We haven't missed on any A rank so far. Alright, I'm seeing people clear with Anton, with an A rank W engine in the endgame, so I think Manato he's in a good spot. He's probably fine. As for Lucia, I'm really curious what her kit is. Now, I did say she's probably a Rupture support, but that is all just guessing, alright? No leaks or anything here. I have no idea what's happening for her. Especially because she is our third Ether support, okay? It's not even like she's our third support, okay? She's our third Ether support, and she is our third S-rank support. Being a support does increase her value by quite a bit, but who knows, maybe she has something cool going on. Maybe she's a support that's meant to be an on-fielder. That would be really, really exciting. If that was the case, I would definitely have to pull her, but who knows? Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, alright? Leave a comment down below what your plans are, what you think of the characters. I want to hear everything, even your theories on what they do. Alright, and also even the character over here, Yadari, we don't know who they are, and maybe there's a second half that hasn't been drip marketed yet. Look forward to that. Maybe we get the new character. Alright, maybe we get a new character that's strip marketed, but who knows? Anyway, with that one, hope you all had a good one. Remember, antenna waves are nice, so I will see you all next time. Oh yeah, subscribe, bell notification, all that jazz. Alright, the video is long enough. Hope you enjoyed. I will see you all next time. Bye!